Chapter 1. Lily. The house is too quiet. Not the peaceful Pinterest kind of quiet where you light a candle and journal about your feelings like a stable adult. No, this is the kind of quiet that hums, the kind that presses against your ears and reminds you that you haven't spoken out loud in, I check my phone, 6 hours. 6 actual human voiceless hours. Cool, I say to absolutely no one, my voice sounding suspiciously like I've forgotten how to use it. Love that for me. My laptop glows back at me from the coffee table, a half-finished illustration staring accusingly from the screen. A cheerful cartoon fox holding a balloon. I have been shading the same balloon for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Do you think this is too much red? I ask the fox. The fox, being both fictional and emotionally unavailable, does not respond. I sigh and flop back against the couch, staring at the ceiling. This is what my job is like. Hours and hours of sitting alone, drawing, revising, emailing clients who say things like, "Can we make it pop more?" as if I can simply reach into the screen and inflate their expectations. No coworkers, no office chatter, no accidental shoulder brushes at the coffee machine, no one saying, "Hey, good job today." No one seeing me, no one hearing me, except my wife, Deborah, or usually Deborah. My phone buzzes. I practically teleport across the couch to grab it, heart doing that ridiculous, hopeful thud-thud, like I haven't been married to this woman for 2 years. Deborah. Landed, exhausted, sleep. I stare at the message. That's it. That's the whole thing. No miss you, no can't wait to see you, no I survived the flight and thought about you the entire time like a normal, obsessed wife. Just corporate efficiency in text form. My thumbs hover over the keyboard. I miss you. Delete. Can you call me for a minute? Delete. I stayed up because I wanted to sleep with you. Delete, delete. I chew on my bottom lip, then type something light, easy, chill. I am the picture of emotional stability. Okay. Send. I immediately hate it. Okay? I mutter. Okay? Lily, you are a clown. I toss my phone onto the cushion beside me and curl up, hugging one of the throw pillows to my chest. It doesn't hug back, which feels like a design flaw. I miss her. God, I miss her. Not just in the big, dramatic, cinematic way. In the small ways. The constant ways. The way she used to sit beside me while I worked, one hand absently resting on my thigh. The way she'd steal my tea and then make me another without asking. The way she'd press a kiss to my hair like it was just part of breathing. We weren't even trying when we met. I was just doing a freelance illustration assignment for her company, some branding campaign that needed a softer, more human touch, which, in hindsight, is hilarious, because Deborah Hale is the least soft-looking human on the planet. She walked into that meeting in a tailored blazer, all sharp lines and sharper eyes, and I remember thinking, oh no, I'm going to ruin my entire life for this woman. And then she spoke, and instead of corporate buzzwords, she asked me about my process, about what I liked to draw, about why I chose certain colors, like she actually cared. We ended up talking for an hour after the meeting ended, then 2, then dinner, then everything. She was different with me, softer, warmer, like I was the only place she let herself exhale. And I loved that. I loved her. Still do. Which is why this, whatever this is lately, feels so wrong. A year into our marriage, she got promoted, marketing director, big title, bigger salary, big enough that she looked at me one night, eyes bright in that rare, unguarded way, and said, "We can finally get the house you wanted." And we did. This house.
our house, with the stupidly large windows and the kitchen island I insisted on, even though I only cook pasta and emotional breakdowns. She did that for me. So I try. I really try to be understanding, even when she's gone more than she's home, even when her calls get shorter, even when her texts start sounding like emails. My eyes drift closed before I realize it, the quiet finally pulling me under. The last thing I remember is the glow of the TV I forgot to turn off, and the ache in my chest that I pretend isn't there.
The sound of the door opening jolts me awake. I blink, disoriented, the room dim and blurry until keys, footsteps, her. Oh my God, Deb! I'm on my feet before my brain catches up, heart racing as I practically sprint across the living room. She's just stepping inside, shrugging off her coat, and there's a moment, a split second, where she looks exactly like she did the first time I saw her. Sharp, composed, untouchable. And then she looks at me, and something soft flickers there. That's all I need. I launch myself at her. She barely has time to react before I'm wrapping my arms around her, pressing into her like I can physically make up for every second she's been gone. Hi, I breathe into her shoulder. You're home. Her arms come around me automatically, solid and warm and real, and for a second, just a second, it feels like everything is right again. I'm home, she murmurs, her voice low, a little rough with exhaustion. God, she looks so good. Her hair is slightly messy from travel, her blouse wrinkled in that unfairly attractive way, sleeves rolled up to reveal her forearms. There's something about her in work mode, this controlled, powerful, slightly intimidating version of her that makes my stomach do little flips. Corporate boss Deborah is, unfortunately, my type. You smell like airplane sadness, I say, pulling back just enough to look at her. Her lips twitch. That's just recycled ambition. I grin. There she is. I missed you, I add, softer this time. Her hand comes up to my hair, fingers threading through it in a slow, absent stroke. It sends this warm, melty feeling down my spine, and I lean into it immediately, practically purring. Yes, I say, because obviously that's the correct response to being touched. But then she stops. Her hand drops, and it's such a small thing, so quick, but it leaves this weird, hollow cold in its place. I'm exhausted, Lily, she says gently, already pulling away slightly. The flight was delayed, and I have an early start tomorrow. Oh, I'd try to keep my voice light, casual, fun, Lily. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. We stand there for a second, the space between us just a little wider than it should be. So, I say, filling it quickly, how was the trip? Did you conquer new markets? Bend the will of entire corporations? A faint huff of amusement. Something like that. Did anyone cry? Please tell me someone cried. No one cried. Disappointing. She sets her bag down, already reaching for her phone. Emails, of course. I stand there for a moment, watching her, feeling something quiet and unpleasant curl in my chest. Okay, I say, softer now. Good night, Deb. Good night, Lily. I linger for half a second, just in case she looks up, just in case she notices. She doesn't, so I turn and walk down the hallway alone, the house swallowing me back into its too loud quiet. And this time, when I climb into bed, it's cold. Chapter 2. Lily. There's a very specific kind of hope that lives inside me. It wakes up every morning, stretches, and goes, "Today will be different." And every morning I let it. But in the days that follow, my hope starts to die little by little. Deep inside, I know things aren't where I'd like them to be with Deborah and me. We've lost our spark, our chemistry, or maybe we're too tired for fireworks. But I keep hoping the problem will solve itself. Like Deborah will wake up one day and realize that she can't live without hugging and kissing me all day. Day 1. Deborah is home. That alone feels like a miracle, so I decide to celebrate it the only way that makes sense, by launching myself at her. She's standing in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone, still in her work clothes, looking like she just stepped out of a very intimidating LinkedIn profile. "Hi, beautiful," I say, wrapping my arms around her waist from behind. "You look so hot today." She startles slightly, then relaxes. "Hi." I press my cheek between her shoulder blades. "This is a hug. You may remember it from our early relationship." A quiet huff. "I remember." "Good, just checking for memory loss." She pats my arm once, like I am a friendly dog. I wait. Maybe a squeeze, maybe she'll turn around, maybe she'll kiss my forehead like she used to. Instead, her phone buzzes. She gently untangles my arms. 1 second. 1 second turns into 3 minutes. I stand there for an embarrassing amount of time before slowly stepping back. "Cool," I whisper to myself. "Love a one-sided hug. Very avant-garde." Day 3. I try again. This time from the front. Strategic. Eye contact. Full emotional commitment. I step into her space while she's typing something on her laptop at the dining table. "Excuse me," I say, very seriously. She glances up. "Yes?" I lean in and wrap my arms around her neck, pressing a quick kiss to her cheek. "I require affection." Her hands keep moving on the keyboard. 1 second. There it is again. 1 second. I rest my chin on her shoulder, waiting, watching, listening to the click, click, click of keys that apparently outrank me. "Deborah? Am I hugging you, or are you being attacked by a mildly affectionate octopus?" A small, distracted smile flickers. "You're hugging me." "Are you sure? Because you're typing through it." "I'm finishing something." I loosen my arms. "Right," I say lightly. "Of course. Finish the thing. The thing is important." The thing always seems important. Day 5. I don't hug her. I stand in the doorway and watch her work instead. She doesn't notice. By dinner time, it's already going downhill. I can feel the tightness in my chest, the kind of weight that is a result of accumulated disappointments. We used to eat together. Not just eat together. Talk, laugh, steal bites off each other's plates like civilized thieves. Now, I set the table anyway, because I'm nothing if not optimistic to the point of delusion. "Dinner's ready," I call. She walks in a minute later, phone in hand, still typing something. "It smells good," she says, distracted. "Thank you, I made pasta." "You always make pasta." Wow, and here I thought I was unpredictable. A small smile, progress. We sit. I wait until she takes a bite before starting, because I am polite and also desperate for positive reinforcement. "So," I say, twirling my fork, "I finally finished that children's book draft I told you about." I went with a softer color palette this time, more pastels." I blink. "Do you want to see it?" "Yeah, of course." Her laptop is already open beside her plate, already glowing, already winning. I get up anyway, grab my iPad, and slide back into my seat like a hopeful little idiot.
Okay, look, I say, turning the screen toward her. This is the main character. She's a cloud that's afraid of raining, which is obviously deeply relatable. She glances. She nods. It's good, Lily. It's good. Not beautiful, not you're amazing, not tell me everything about her. Just good. Her eyes drop back to the laptop. My chest does something small and unpleasant. Thanks, I say, pulling the iPad back. I take a bite of pasta. It tastes like absolutely nothing. I talk, because that's what I do. I fill space. I make things light. I turn silence into something softer. I think I'm going to try a new style next week, something a little more textured. And maybe pitch it to that publisher I told you about. And do you think kids still like hand-drawn stuff, or is everything digital now? At some point, I stop mid-sentence. Just stop. She doesn't notice. The silence stretches. I stare at her for a second, then I look down at my plate and keep eating, because apparently I'm now a background podcast in my own marriage.
I don't realize when it starts happening, but it does. I laugh a little less loudly. I talk a little less often. I wait before touching her, like I'm checking if it's allowed. Because maybe I'm just a lot. Maybe I've always been a lot. And maybe she used to like that about me. But now she's in this world of meetings and presentations and important people with important voices. And I'm just here, in sweatpants, talking to a cartoon fox. I glance at her across the room, laptop glow reflecting in her glasses, her posture straight, focused, untouchable. She looks like she belongs somewhere bigger, somewhere louder, somewhere I don't quite fit. My throat tightens. I look away. That night, I try again, because of course I do. She's on the couch this time, laptop balanced on her knee, typing with that same quiet intensity. I approach carefully, like she's a wild animal that might spook. "Hey," I say softly. "Hey. I did another sketch." I sit beside her, close enough that our thighs touch. She doesn't move away. Small victory. "Look," I say, holding up my iPad again. "I tried something different with the lighting." She glances over. Her hand pauses. For a second, just a second, her full attention lands on the screen, on my work. "It's really good," she says, a little more present this time. "I like this one." My heart lifts. "Yeah? Yeah." And then her phone buzzes. She picks it up. The moment disappears. My heart does that shrinking thing again, folding in on itself like it's trying to take up less space. "Thanks," I say quietly, lowering the iPad. I last exactly 3 days before I break. 3 days of and 1 second and it's good. 3 days of missing someone who is literally in the same room as me. That night, when she finally comes to bed, I don't wait. I turn toward her immediately, pressing into her side, wrapping my arms around her like I used to, like I need to. She stiffens for half a second, surprised, then relaxes. "Hey," she murmurs. "Hi." I press my face into her shoulder, breathing her in. Soap and something faintly sharp. Her perfume, maybe. Or just her. "Deb? I hesitate. "Make it light. Make it a joke. Make it easy. Do you still like me?" Silence. I feel her shift slightly beneath me. "What kind of question is that?" she asks, confused. I let out a small, shaky laugh. I don't know, a deeply chill and normal one? Lily, you just... I pull back slightly, looking at her in the dim light. You don't look at me anymore. Her brows knit. That's not true. It kind of is. I'm just busy. You don't miss me. That one lands heavier. Her expression sharpens. I was gone for 3 days. Exactly. What does that mean? It means you came back and it didn't feel like you missed me. My voice wobbles despite my best efforts. It felt like you just resumed your schedule. That's not fair. I feel like I'm... Swallow. Just here. The words hang between us. Ugly. Honest. Too real. She sits up slightly, the warmth between us breaking. Lily, I'm doing all this for us. There it is. That sentence. That wall. I know, I say quickly. I know you are. I'm not saying you're not. I just... What do you want me to do? She cuts in, a note of frustration creeping into her voice. Quit my job? Stop working? No, I push myself up to, heart pounding. That's not what I'm saying. Then what are you saying? I'm saying I miss you. The words burst out of me, louder than I intend. Even when you're right here, I miss you. She exhales sharply, running her hand through her hair. I'm trying to build something for us. This house, this life, none of it happens without this job. I didn't ask for this version of us. The moment the words leave my mouth, everything goes still. Her face changes, closes. That's what this is to you? A version you don't like? That's not... Do you think I like this? Her voice is tighter now. Do you think I enjoy being exhausted all the time? Traveling constantly? I didn't say that. You're acting like you're choosing this over me. It feels like you are. Silence crashes down between us. Heavy. Final. We stare at each other, both breathing a little too fast, both standing on opposite sides of something neither of us knows how to cross. I'm doing my best, she says finally. I know, I whisper. And somehow that makes it worse, because her best still feels like not enough. She turns away first, lying back down, facing the other side of the bed. A clear, quiet end to the conversation. I stay there sitting for a moment, staring at her back, waiting, hoping she'll turn back. She doesn't. So I lie down too, facing the opposite direction. The space between us feels enormous. And for the first time since we got married, a thought slips in. Uninvited, unwelcome, but impossible to ignore. Maybe love isn't enough. Maybe marriage isn't the fairy tale I thought it would be. I close my eyes.
Chapter 3. Deborah. I know I messed up. The realization doesn't come all at once. It's not dramatic, no lightning strike, no sudden clarity. It's quieter than that. It's Lily's voice from last night, replaying in my head on an endless loop. You don't look at me anymore. You don't miss me. I feel like I'm just here. I tighten my grip on the steering wheel at a red light, jaw clenching. I didn't know what to say then. I still don't. But I know one thing with absolute, uncomfortable certainty. She meant it. And Lily doesn't explode like that unless something has been building for a long time. I exhale slowly and pull into the parking lot. If I don't know what to say, but I can at least do something. The shop is bright, sleek, aggressively modern. Rows of glowing screens and polished glass, all designed to make you feel slightly inadequate about your current technology. A salesman approaches me within seconds. Of course he does. I will spend money to fix a problem written all over me. Ma'am, can I help you with something? Yes. I don't hesitate. I need the best tablet for graphic design. He smiles, already nodding. For professional work? Yes. For yourself? For my wife. That feels important to clarify. He gestures toward a display. We have several high-end options. No, I cut in. Calm, but firm. The best one. He pauses, reassesses me, then nods again, this time with a little more respect. Right this way. As he talks, specs, pressure sensitivity, color accuracy, I half listen, half drift. My mind keeps going back to Lily, to the way she looked at me last night. Not angry, not really, just hurt. And that's worse. I know what her days look like. I know she's home alone most of the time, sitting cross-legged on the couch or at her desk, surrounded by sketchbooks and half-finished ideas. I know she talks out loud sometimes. She thinks I don't notice, but I do. Little running commentaries, jokes to herself. She's bright. Loud in the softest way. She fills space. And I've been leaving her alone in it. The salesman says something about processing speed. I nod. Will this handle large illustration files? Absolutely. It's designed for professionals. Good. She deserves that. She deserves everything. Because Lily is the kind of person people write songs about. And I huff a quiet breath, a corporate slave, as she once jokingly called me. Except it's not entirely a joke. I've always been like this, structured, driven, a little too intense. Even as a kid, I didn't know how to relax. My brain never shuts off. There's always something to plan, fix, improve. Until Lily. Lily who walks into a room like she belongs there, like the world is something to play with, not conquer. Lily who laughs too loud and talks too much and somehow makes it all feel necessary. I remember the first time she sat across from me explaining her work with animated hand gestures, eyes shining. I remember thinking, how is she real? And then, why is she talking to me like this? Like I was interesting. Like I had no artistic talents, no interesting life filled with color. My days all looked the same, and I wondered what it must be like to be Lily, to be someone who can find joy in even the work she does. When she agreed to go to dinner with me after our first meeting, I thought it was politeness. When she agreed to a second, I thought it was curiosity. When she kissed me, I genuinely thought I might be hallucinating. Because Lily she's beautiful, wild, and free-spirited. She makes me want her, beckons to me in a warm, come-closer way. Soft edges, expressive eyes, that constant glow of emotion right beneath the surface. Talented, creative, alive. She could have had anyone. Another artist, a musician, someone spontaneous and effortlessly cool. Instead, she chose me. Me. I didn't question it. I didn't give myself time to. I put a ring on her finger as fast as I could, like I was afraid the universe would realize its mistake and take her back. And ever since then, I've had this quiet, persistent thought in the back of my mind. Make sure she never regrets it. Give her a good life, a comfortable life, a beautiful home, security, everything she deserves, everything I can control. The salesman finishes his explanation. This is our top model. I don't even look at the price. I'll take it. On the drive home, the box sits on the passenger seat, sleek and promising. I imagine her face when she opens it, the way her eyes will light up, the way she'll smile at me like she used to, all warmth and affection, and you did something right. I grip the wheel a little tighter. This will fix it. It has to.
The house is quiet when I walk in. Not peaceful, not warm, just quiet. I find her in the living room, curled up on the couch, her iPad balanced on her knees, the same one I noticed flickering the other night. She looks up when I enter. Hey. Hey. There's a pause. We look at each other like we're trying to remember how this works. I clear my throat, stepping forward. I got you something. Her brows lift slightly. You did? Yeah. I hold out the box, suddenly aware of how stiff I probably look. I thought, for your work, your book. Her expression shifts. Curiosity, interest, something softer. She sits up, taking the box carefully. Deb. It's nothing, I say quickly. I noticed your tablet was flickering and you're working on something important, so I thought you should have the best tools. Her fingers brush over the wrapping. For a second, I think, this is it. This is the moment. She opens it, and for a brief, fragile heartbeat, she looks excited. Then, something changes. Subtle, but unmistakable. Her shoulders drop. Her mouth presses into a thin line. She looks up at me. You bought me a solution. I blink. What? You bought me a solution, she repeats, quieter this time. I frown slightly. You needed it. I needed you. The words hit harder than they should, or maybe exactly as hard as they should. I'm here, I say, a little defensively. I'm literally right here. That's not what I mean. Then what do you mean, Lily? Frustration creeps in despite my efforts. You said you wanted me to care about your work. I do. This is me supporting you. She exhales, shaking her head. I didn't say I wanted better equipment. Her voice wavers slightly. I wanted you to sit with me, to look at my work, to actually care. I do care. Then why does it feel like you don't? I open my mouth, close it, because I don't have an answer that doesn't sound like an excuse. She gently places the tablet back in the box and holds it out to me. You can keep it. What? I stare at her. No. What would I even do with something this expensive? She says, a bitter edge slipping into her voice. You're the one with the important job. That's not... Lily, stop. I'm serious. She pushes the box toward me. Take it back. I'm not taking it. Well, I'm not taking it. We stand there, the box between us like some kind of ridiculous, expensive barrier. I reach for her instead. Lily. She steps back, shrugs me off. It's small, barely anything, but it feels like a punch to the chest. I don't want a gift, she says, softer now. I just wanted your time. I wanted you to want to spend time with me instead of with your laptop. I wanted you to treat me the way you used to, like I was at least more interesting than spreadsheets. I don't want you trying to give me gifts so I stop needing you, as if a tablet could be a substitute for a conversation. And I don't know what to do with that. Because I thought this was me wanting her. I thought this was me showing up. I thought I was doing the right thing.
Chapter 4. Deborah. I stare at my laptop like it personally offended me, which, to be fair, it might have. because currently it is displaying the most humiliating sentence I have ever willingly typed into a search bar. How to make wife feel loved. I lean back in my chair and drab a hand down my face. Unbelievable, I mutter. 32 years old, marketing director, I manage multi-million-dollar campaigns, negotiate contracts, lead teams across time zones, and I am being outperformed by a relationship advice blog titled lovebetternow.com? I click the first link anyway, because clearly whatever I've been doing so far has not been working. The article loads. Understanding love languages, the key to a happy relationship. I narrow my eyes. This feels like a trap, I say to the empty room. Still, I read. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. I sit up a little straighter. Well, I say slowly, that seems simple. 5 categories. 5. And somehow I still got it wrong. I scroll. Everyone gives and receives love differently. Misunderstandings happen when partners express love in ways that don't align with the other's needs. I stare at that line for a long moment. Then I exhale. Right, because that sounds uncomfortably accurate. I lean forward, resting my elbows on my desk. Okay, fine. Let's evaluate. Words of affirmation. Lily lights up when I compliment her work. Not just, it's good. Actual engagement. Specifics. She wants me to notice. I haven't been noticing. A tight feeling settles in my chest. Physical touch. I almost scoff. Almost. Then I remember. Her arms around me in the kitchen. Her head on my shoulder. The way she just gravitates toward me, like it's instinct. I glance back at the screen. Frequent and intentional touch helps reinforce emotional connection. I lean back again, staring at the ceiling. So apparently, hugging is a requirement. Daily. Excessively. There's a pause. I can do that. Probably. Quality time. I grimace. That one I've been actively failing, because technically I'm there, in the same room, on the same couch, at the same table, but I close my eyes briefly. I'm not with her. Not really. My attention is always somewhere else. My phone, my laptop, my next meeting. And Lily notices everything. Of course she does. She's an artist. She lives in details. And I've been giving her fragments. I look back at the screen. Receiving gifts. I glance at the unopened tablet box sitting down on the desk beside me. Well, I mutter, that one didn't land. At all. And finally, acts of service. That's mine. That's how I've been loving her. Working, providing, building a life, making sure she never has to worry about anything. I thought that was enough. I scrub a hand over my face again. I thought consistency meant security, and security meant love. But Lily doesn't measure love in stability. She measures it in presence, in warmth, in feeling. I go still, because suddenly, something shifts. Something clicks into place with a quiet, uncomfortable clarity. I didn't lose love. I just stopped expressing it in a way she could recognize. My gaze drifts unfocused as memories start surfacing, uninvited, unavoidable. I recall the kitchen from 2 years ago, music playing from her phone, something soft and slightly offbeat. I'm standing at the counter, trying to focus on slicing vegetables with precision, because that is how I do things. She's behind me. Of course she is. She's always behind me, or beside me, or touching me in some way, shape, or form. Deb? She tugs lightly on my sleeve. Dance with me. I'm cooking. You're aggressively chopping carrots. They need to be evenly sized. They need to not ruin our relationship. I glance at her, unimpressed. She grins. Then she takes the knife out of my hand and sets it down. "Lily, no," she says, already pulling me toward her. "You work all day. I demand 1.1 dance." "One dance?" I repeat dryly. "Yes. This is extortion. This is romance." I sigh, but I let her pull me in. Her hands find mine, warm and sure, and before I can overthink it, she's swaying us gently to the music. I'm stiff at first. Of course I am. But she just laughs softly, stepping closer, pressing against me. "Relax," she murmurs. "No one's grading you. I would get an A. You would get a D for effort and a C for emotional availability. I'm emotionally available. Debatable." I tighten my grip on her slightly. She smiles. And just like that, something in my chest loosens. I look back at the screen, the article still open, annoyingly simple in its conclusions. The goal is not to change who you are, but to meet your partner where they are. I let out a quiet breath. I always knew we were different. I liked that we were different. Lily is color, movement, emotion. And I'm structure, order, control. It worked because we balanced each other, because she pulled me out of my head and I gave her something steady to stand on. But somewhere along the way, I stopped meeting her where she was. I started expecting her to adapt to me, to need less, to be okay with less, because less was all I had the energy to give. I close the laptop slowly. The room feels still, too still. I glance toward the hallway, toward the part of the house where she is, where she always is, waiting. I exhale. "Okay," I say quietly, hugging, talking, looking, being present. It sounds simple. It probably isn't, but neither is losing her, and that is not an option.
Planning a date feels strangely similar to planning a client presentation. There's structure, timing, objectives. Except the objective is not secure stakeholder alignment. It's make your wife fall back in love with you. No pressure. I stand in the kitchen with my phone in one hand, notes open, like I'm about to pitch a campaign. Restaurant, booked. Time, Saturday, 7 p.m. Backup plan, dessert place nearby. Conversation topics, I actually wrote this down. I hate myself. I stare at the list for a second. Then I lock my phone. This is ridiculous, I mutter. And yet, if I don't think about it, I'll default. And my default has not been working. I glance toward the living room. She's there, curled up on the couch, sketching. Of course she is. One leg tucked under her, hair falling into her face, pencil moving in quick, confident strokes. For a moment, I just watch. Because I used to do this all the time. Just look at her. Like she was something worth studying. She still is. I just stopped. I take a breath and walk over. "Lily?" She looks up immediately. Always immediate. Like I'm still important enough to notice right away. "Yeah?" There's something careful in her expression. Not cold, not distant, just cautious. I hate it. I did that. "Are you free on Saturday?" I ask. She blinks. "Saturday?" "Yes." She sets her pencil down slowly, like she's trying not to react too quickly. "I mean, yeah." A small pause. Then, with a faint, self-aware smile, "I'm free most days. I'm at home all the time, remember?" There's no bite in it, but there's something else. Something softer. Something that still stings. "I know," I say quietly. "I just wanted to ask." She tilts her head slightly, studying me. "Why?" I straighten a little. Commit. "I have scheduled romance." There's a beat, Then, oh God, is there a PowerPoint? I almost smile. Not currently. Are there bullet points? Possibly. Deborah? Yes. If you show up to a date with a presentation, I'm leaving. That's fair. A small huff of laughter escapes her, and God, it's been a while since I've heard that. Something in my chest loosens. So, she says, softer now, what kind of scheduled romance are we talking about? Dinner. Somewhere nice. No laptops, no phones. She raises an eyebrow. No phones, bold of you. I'm capable of growth. Debatable, she murmurs, but there's no edge to it. She looks down at her sketchbook for a second, then back up at me. Okay, she says. Just that. But there's a shift. Subtle. A little less guarded. A little more open. Cautiously optimistic. And it makes something twist in my chest because I have never seen her like this before. Lily is not cautious. She is not hesitant. She is not someone who measures her reactions. She's bright and immediate and all in. And now? Now she's holding back. Because of me. I'll pick you up at 7, even though we live in the same house. Her lips twitch. From the living room? Yes. Fancy. I aim to impress. Good, she says, a little more lightly, because your last attempt involved emotional damage and a very expensive tablet. I wince. Noted. Saturday comes faster than I expect. I spend an unreasonable amount of time deciding what to wear, not because I care about clothes, because I care about this. Her. The way she might look at me. When I walk into the living room, she's already there. Of course she is. She's wearing a soft dress, something simple, but her. Effortless, warm, her hair loose, a little wavy. She looks beautiful. She always does. But tonight, it hits me a little harder. Maybe because I haven't been letting myself notice. Hi. Hi. There's a small, awkward pause. Then, do I pass the dress code for scheduled romance? I ask. You exceed expectations. She smiles, just a little. Good. Dinner is nice, objectively. The restaurant is warm, softly lit, the kind of place designed for long conversations and lingering glances. We sit across from each other, menus open, both pretending to read them like we already know what we're getting. So, she says, after a moment, peeking over the top of the menu, do we follow an agenda or... No agenda, I say quickly. Are you sure? Yes, because I'm prepared to take notes. I would prefer if you didn't. Okay, but if you start saying things like circling back, I'm leaving. That's fair. A small smile. Progress. We order. The food comes. We eat. And for a while, it's fine. Polite.
Like we're both trying not to step on something fragile. I hate it. I hate that it feels like this. So I try. Tell me about your book, I say. She pauses, fork halfway to her mouth. My book? Yes, the one you've been working on. A flicker of surprise crosses her face, then something softer. Oh. She sets her fork down slowly. You mean the cloud one? Yes. The emotionally repressed cloud. That sounds relatable. She huffs a quiet laugh. It's about a cloud that's afraid of raining because she thinks she'll disappear if she lets go, she says, a little more animated now. But then she realizes that raining is kind of the point of being a cloud. I nod, watching her. Actually watching. And what happens? I ask. She rains, Lily says. And instead of disappearing, she becomes part of everything else. The trees, the rivers. She's still there, just different. I hold her gaze. That's good, I say. She studies me for a second, like she's trying to decide if I mean it. I want to see it, all of it, when we get home. Her eyes widen slightly. Really? Yes. And you'll actually look at it? Yes. And not just say, it's good, and go back to your emails? I wince faintly. I will give you specific, honest feedback. She leans back slightly, crossing her arms. Wow, she says. Should I be nervous? Probably. She smiles, a real one this time, and something in my chest eases. I've missed hearing about your work, I say, more quietly now. I've missed a lot of things. Her expression softens. I continue before I can overthink it. I want to know what you've been doing, what you've been listening to, watching, thinking about. She blinks. Why? Because I stopped asking, because I stopped paying attention, because I let my world shrink down to numbers and meetings and things that don't actually matter when I'm sitting across from you. I say, you make my world bigger. The words feel strange, unpracticed, but true. She goes very still. Bigger? She echoes. Yes. I lean back slightly, holding her gaze. My life is like a bubble, predictable, focused on my work, and the small world of numbers and marketing details. It's not exactly broadening my horizons. She nods slowly. You, I continue, are not small. A faint smile tugs at her lips. Rude. It's a compliment. Debatable. You expand things. You make me notice things I wouldn't otherwise. Colors, stories, details. Her expression shifts, softens. And I think, I pause, choosing my words carefully, I think I forgot how important that is. Silence settles between us. Not heavy this time, just quiet. Lily looks down at her plate for a second, then back up at me. Okay, she says softly. And it's not everything. It's not fixed, but it's something. And for the first time in days, it feels like we might actually be moving forward.
Chapter 5. Lily. Being wooed by my own wife feels weird. I know Deborah is really trying. She's learning from her mistakes and working to impress me. Honestly, I thought she'd just write me off as difficult and needy and just give up. But she decided to romance me instead, and that made me like her and respect her more. She's not a quitter. She won't give up on intimacy and making me happy just because it's gotten more difficult than it used to be when we were dating. She's a real long-term kind of person, and I guess I am starting to feel relieved that I picked her to marry. We don't say much on the drive back, not in a bad way, in that quiet, full kind of way, like something is settling between us again, slowly, carefully, like we're rebuilding a house and testing each step before putting weight on it. My hand rests in my lap, not touching hers, but closer than it's been in days. I can feel her awareness of it anyway. When we pull into the driveway, my stomach does this weird little flip, which is ridiculous. I literally live here. The door clicks shut behind us, and before I can even turn, Deborah's hand is on my wrist. I barely have time to process the movement before she pulls me back and my spine meets the door with a soft thud. Deb! And then she kisses me. Not the polite, careful, we are working through things kiss from earlier. Not the distracted, half-there one from the other night. This is warm, deep, intentional. Her hand slides up to my jaw, tilting my face just enough, and she kisses me like she remembers exactly how I like it. Slow at first, then a little firmer, like she's relearning the rhythm of me. My brain short-circuits immediately.
Oh, I breathe against her mouth before she kisses me again, and I melt. Completely. Instantly. Embarrassingly. Because this is what I've been missing. Not just the kiss, the way she's there in it. Focused. Present. With me. My hands find her without thinking, gripping the front of her shirt as I lean into her, chasing that warmth, that closeness. She hums softly, like she feels it too, like she missed this too. When she finally pulls back, my head feels a little fuzzy, my lips tingling, my heart doing something very undignified in my chest. I blink up at her. Hi. Her mouth curves slightly. Hi. I stare at her for a second, still trying to catch up with reality. That was, I gesture vaguely, unexpected. You used to like unexpected, she says, her voice low. I still do, I say quickly. Please don't interpret my shock as criticism. A faint huff of amusement. You used to be the more passionate one, I add. She laughs softly, a little breathless. Used to? You were, I say, as she lifts a hand to my face again, her thumb brushing lightly over my cheek. Even during our first year of marriage. I swallow. God, do I remember. The way she used to pull me in like this, the way she didn't hesitate, the way she made me feel wanted. Her hands settle more firmly on my face now, holding me there, grounding me. Did you like the date? She asks. My chest tightens a little at that. She's trying so hard. Yeah, I say softly. I did. Her shoulders ease just slightly. But, she asks. I huff a small laugh. You're very good at anticipating the but. It's a professional hazard. I smile, then shake my head gently. No big but, I said. Just something. I'm listening. Of course she is. That's the difference. I don't need grand gestures, I say slowly, choosing my words. I need small, constant ones. She goes still. I thought building a life was enough, she says after a moment. There's no defensiveness in it this time, just honesty. I know you did, I say gently, and it matters, it really does. I reach up, resting my hand lightly over hers where it still cups my cheek. But I want to feel like I'm part of it. Her gaze drops on my face, something shifting there, something deeper. I've been overworking, she admits quietly. The words feel important, like they cost her something. I know, I say. No, I mean, exhale, her grip tightening slightly. Not just busy, I've been pushing, harder than I need to. I frown slightly. Why?
A pause. Then, fear, she says simply. I blink. Fear of what? That if I don't keep everything together, it falls apart, she says. That if I slow down, I lose what I've built, what we've built. My heart softens. God, I wish she'd told me this sooner. I didn't realize I was losing something else instead, she adds, quieter now. Something in my chest aches. I'm glad you told me, I say softly, because I am. I wanted to understand her, I just didn't know how to ask without sounding like I was accusing her. Her thumb brushes my cheek again, slower this time, gentler. Do you want to talk about your book? She asks. My lips curve slightly. Or, I prompt. Her gaze darkens just a fraction. Or, she says, voice lowering, let me make love to you in the bedroom. My breath catches. She tilts her head slightly, watching my reaction. Or right here, she adds, almost casually, if you'd prefer. I blink at her. Deborah? Yes. That was very, I gesture vaguely again, confident of you. She raises an eyebrow. I feel heat rush to my face. Because, okay, yes, I like this. I like when she takes charge. I like when she decides things instead of overthinking them. She's always been like this. Even when I'm the clingy one, the emotional one, she's the one who moves, who pulls me in, who makes the first move. And God, I've missed that. Option 2, I mumble. Her lips twitch. Option 2? I nod, trying to look more composed than I feel. Yes, I believe I would like to explore the right here option. Noted. Her hand slides down from my face to my hand, lacing our fingers together. Warm, steady, intentional. I'll listen to your book after. I huff a quiet laugh. Sure you will. She gives my hand a small squeeze. I will. I don't argue, but we both know. We both know that once she kisses me like that again, once she looks at me like she is right now, there is absolutely no chance we're opening my iPad tonight. And honestly, I don't mind. Because for the first time in days, I feel wanted. And not in a quiet, practical way. In a way that makes my stomach flip, and my skin warm, and my heart feel like it's finally being seen again. She steps closer. I don't step back this time. And when she leans in again, I'm already reaching for her. Over the next few days, I start noticing changes in Deborah. The first time it happens, I think it's an accident. I'm standing at the counter pouring myself tea when Deborah walks past me and just hugs me. No warning. No 1 second. Just arms sliding around my waist, warm and solid. Her chin brushing lightly against my shoulder as she exhales. I freeze. Completely. Like a deer. In headlights. Holding a kettle. Hello? I say cautiously. Hello? She murmurs into my hair. I wait. Because usually this is the part where she lets go after approximately 1.5 seconds and returns to her emails. She doesn't. She stays. Just holding me. I blink. Are you stuck? Do you need assistance? A quiet huff of amusement against my neck. No. Are you being held hostage by your own emotional growth? That's a possibility. I smile before I can stop myself. Carefully, very carefully, I lean back into her a little. Testing. She tightens her arms, just a little, like she noticed, like she meant to. Oh. Okay. My chest does something soft and dangerous. I like this, I admit. Good, she says. And then she lets go. But not abruptly, not like before. This time it feels complete, like the hug actually happened. I stand there for a second after she walks away, staring at my tea. What just happened? I whisper. The second time, I'm working, or pretending to. My iPad is open, stylus in hand, but I've been staring at the same sketch for 5 minutes because my brain keeps replaying that hug like it's a movie trailer. Deborah walks into the room. I feel it. Not in a dramatic soulmate way, just awareness. She comes closer. And then she sits right next to me. Not across the room, not at the table with her laptop. Next to me. I glance at her. She's not doing anything. No phone, no laptop, just sitting. Hi, I say slowly. Hi. I blink. You're not working? No. You're not on your phone? No. Are you okay? Yes. I narrow my eyes slightly. You're being suspicious. I'm sitting with my wife. That's new. She doesn't argue. She just leans back into the couch, one arm resting behind me. Not touching, but close. Close enough that I can feel the warmth. "What are you drawing?" she asks. "It's, a revision," I say, suddenly weirdly nervous. I changed the cloud design, made her a little softer. She looks... Deborah tilts her head slightly. Less afraid. I blink at her. "You can tell?" "Yes." I stare at her. "You're terrifying," I say. She glances at me. "Why?" "You noticed character development in a cloud." "I notice things," she says simply. I huff a quiet laugh, shaking my head. "Okay, yeah, that's fair." There's a pause. Comfortable. Easy. And then I feel it. Her gaze on me. I glance over. She's looking at me. Not at the screen. At me. You're staring at me again?" "I'm practicing." I grin. "Practicing what?" "Looking at you properly." My stomach flips, which is honestly rude because I was just sitting here minding my business, and now I'm having emotions. "Wow," I say lightly, and here I thought I was already very visible. "You are," she says. "Then why practice?" "Because I stopped paying attention." I look down at my screen, my fingers tightening slightly around the stylus. "You're doing better," I say. "I'm trying." I can tell. And I can. That's the thing. It's not just one big gesture. It's this. Small. Constant. Exactly what I asked for. My chest feels lighter. Like something that was clenched is slowly, carefully loosening. The third time, I don't wait. She walks into the room, and before she can even say anything, I go to her. Wrap my arms around her waist, press my face into her shoulder. "Hello," I mumble. She stills for half a second. Then her arms come around me. Immediate. Easy. Like it's natural again. "Hello," she says softly. I smile into her shirt. "Okay. Yeah. This is good." A few days pass like this. Small things. Consistent things. She asks questions and waits for the answers. She sits with me, touches me, looks at me. And slowly, quietly, I stop feeling like I have to fight for space in her world. Like I'm part of it again. We're in the kitchen when she asks. I'm leaning against the counter, eating something questionable out of a bowl, while she is pouring herself water. "Do you want to go on another date?" she asks. I blink. "Another one? That was fast." "Depends," I say, narrowing my eyes slightly. "Is this more scheduled romance?" "Yes." "Is there a PowerPoint this time?" "No." "Are you sure?" "Yes." I consider her for a second. "What kind of date?" She takes a sip of water, deliberately casual. "Not dinner." My interest spikes immediately. "Okay." "Something I think you'll enjoy." "Oh." I set the bowl down, fully invested now. "Is it you finally embracing chaos? Is this a spontaneous, emotionally driven activity?" "Let's not get carried away." "Is there art involved?" "Maybe." "Is there food?" "Probably." "Is there emotional healing?" "I can't guarantee that." I grin. "Bold of you." She watches me for a second, and I can see it. That quiet hope again. Like she's waiting to see if I'll say yes. Like it matters. "It matters." "I'd love to go," I say. Her shoulders ease. Just a little. "Okay." "Okay," I echo, smiling. And this time, it doesn't feel careful. It doesn't feel fragile. It feels exciting. Like maybe, just maybe, we're finding our way back.
Chapter 6, Deborah. Planning a second date is easier. Not because I know what I'm doing, but because I know what she likes.
And for once, that feels like enough. We end up at a park. Not a dramatic, sweeping, cinematic one, just a quiet, sunlit space with trees, a small pond, and enough scattered people to feel alive without being overwhelming. It's the kind of place Lily would notice, which is the point. She looks around when we arrive, her steps slowing, eyes scanning everything like she's already cataloging colors, shapes, textures. "Oh," she says softly. I glance at her. "Oh, this is..." She gestures vaguely at everything. "Very me." That was the goal. She turns to look at me, something warm flickering in her expression. "Are we about to do something cute?" she asks suspiciously. "Yes." "Oh, no." I almost smile. I hand her the tote bag I brought. She peers inside, then looks back up at me. "Until you brought sketchbooks." "Yes." "And pencils." "Yes." "And snacks?" "Yes." She narrows her eyes slightly. "You're becoming dangerously thoughtful." "I've always been thoughtful." "You've always been efficient," she corrects. "This is new." "I'm expanding my skill set." She hums, clearly amused. I approve. We find a spot under a tree, the grass soft enough to sit on without immediate regret. Lily settles easily, like she belongs here, already pulling out her sketchbook, flipping through pages filled with quick studies and half-finished ideas. I sit beside her, a little more deliberate, because this is not my environment. There are no spreadsheets here, no structure, just blank pages, which I am realizing are significantly more intimidating than any boardroom. "So," I say, picking up a pencil like it might betray me, "what exactly are we doing?" "We're sketching," she says, as if that's obvious. "Yes, but what does that involve?" She glances at me, then at the completely untouched page in my lap. "Deborah." "Yes?" "Have you ever drawn before?" "Not voluntarily." She stares at me. "You brought me on an art date, and you don't know how to draw?" "I know how to observe." "That is not the same thing." "It's adjacent." She snorts. "Okay," she says, shifting slightly to face me. "Step 1, pick something." I look around. There are trees, water, people, all of which seem unnecessarily complex. "I'll start simple," I say, nodding decisively. "Good idea." I look at her. She's sitting cross-legged, sunlight catching in her hair, pencil already moving across the page with easy confidence. "Simple. Yes." "That," I say. She blinks. "That?" "I'm drawing you." She freezes for half a second. Then, "Oh, no," she says. "It's happening. You're going to ruin my self-esteem. I'm going to capture your essence." "That's worse." I start sketching. Or attempting to. There is a lot of staring, a lot of hesitation, and then lines, somewhere between abstract and deeply concerning. Lily watches me for a moment, trying very hard not to laugh. "How's it going?" she asks. "Great. I have full control of the situation." "Mm-hmm." I glance at her. She's already halfway through her own sketch, lines flowing easily, confidently. Of course she is. "You're judging me," I say. "I'm observing," she replies sweetly. "That's my line. I've adapted it." I look back down at my page. This is not going well, but I keep going because she's here, because she's watching, because this
matters. After a few minutes, I turn the sketchbook toward her. Done. She leans over, eyes scanning the page. There's a pause. A very long pause. Is that supposed to be me? She asks carefully. It's interpretive suffering. She bursts out laughing. Actually laughing, her head tipping back, her shoulders shaking, completely unfiltered. And I can't remember the last time I saw that. It's not that bad, I say, mildly defensive. Deborah, she says, still laughing, I look like a haunted potato. That's harsh. That's accurate. It's stylized. It's alarming. I glance back at the drawing. Okay, the proportions might be slightly off. Your slightly is doing a lot of work here. I huff a quiet breath. She wipes at the corner of her eye, still smiling. I love it, she says. I raise an eyebrow. You just called it alarming. I love it because it's alarming. That's not reassuring. It's you trying, she says, softer now. That's the part I like. Something in my chest tightens. I look at her. Really look at her. She's already turned back to her own sketch, but there's a small smile lingering on her lips, her posture relaxed, open, comfortable. With me. Can I see yours? I ask. She hesitates for half a second, then turns the sketchbook toward me, and it's beautiful. Of course it is. Clean lines, soft shading, the kind of effortless detail that makes everything feel alive. She didn't draw the whole scene, just a piece of it. The curve of the pond, the reflection of the trees, light breaking through the leaves. It feels calm, intentional, like her. This is... I pause, searching for the right word. Good. She looks at me. I catch myself. No, I correct. It's more than good. Her expression shifts just slightly.
I continue. The way you handled the light here, I say, pointing lightly, it draws the eye in without overwhelming the rest of the composition. She blinks. You sound like you know what you're talking about. I've been paying attention. A small smile. Clearly. I glance back at the sketch. You make things look easier than they are, I add. They're not easy, she says. I just like doing them. I can tell. She watches me for a moment, then nudges my arm lightly with hers. You're improving, she says. At drawing? No, she says, softer. At this. I meet her gaze. I'm trying. I know. There's a pause. Warm. Comfortable. And then, do you want to try again? She asks, nodding toward my sketchbook. I look down at my previous attempt, then back at her. Yes. Good, she says, already shifting closer to me. But this time, I'm supervising. That sounds threatening. It should. She leans in, her shoulder brushing mine, her hand lightly guiding mine as I hold the pencil. Okay, she says, start with the basic shape. I did that. No, you attacked the page. I approached it with confidence. You approached it with chaos. I huff a quiet laugh. Show me. And she does. Patient, gentle, close enough that I can feel her warmth beside me. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not thinking about work or deadlines or the next thing I need to fix. I'm just here, with her, trying. And somehow, that feels like exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Chapter 7. Lily. I know something is happening the moment I open the door. First, the music. Soft, familiar. The kind that settles into your chest before your brain even catches up. I freeze in the doorway, keys still in my hand. Deb? In here. I step inside slowly, and then I see it. The living room. No, not even the living room anymore. It's been transformed. The lights are dimmed just enough to feel warm, not dark. Candles flicker along the table. The plates, the glasses, everything is arranged with this careful, deliberate precision that screams Deborah. And the food. I know that food. My eyes widen. No way! I walk closer, blinking like it might disappear if I don't confirm it. This is from that place you took me to on our first date. Yes. I turn toward her, and oh, she's wearing something similar to that night. Not identical, but close enough that it hits me right in the chest. The same sharp lines, the same quiet confidence, the same version of her that made me think, I am absolutely doomed. You gestured between her and the table. You recreated our first date? Yes. Deborah. Yes. What is happening? She steps closer, calm as ever. I'm taking you on a date. We are already in our house. Yes. This is highly suspicious behavior. I'm aware. I stare at her, then at the table, then back at her. I love it, I admit. Her shoulders ease slightly. Good. She pulls out my chair for me. My chair? I blink up at her. Wow, I say. Chivalry is alive and well. I'm making an effort. I can see that. I'm impressed. Slightly alarmed, but impressed. A faint smile touches her lips. I sit. She serves the food. Actually serves it. Like I'm important. Like I deserve to be taken care of. You didn't cook this, I say, narrowing my eyes playfully. No, she says immediately. I'm not attempting that. Coward. I'm realistic. I believe in you. I don't believe in me, she replies dryly. You're the one who's good at things that make people's lives brighter. My chest tightens a little at that. That's a very specific compliment. It's accurate. She sets the plate in front of me, her movements careful, intentional. You cook, you create, you make this house feel like something more than just a place to exist. I look down at the food for a second, then back up at her. Are you praising me a lot? I say slowly. Yes. Why? She doesn't hesitate. I have a year to make up for. The words land softly, but they land. I swallow. Deb, she continues, her voice quieter now. I didn't say the things I should have, not when you needed to hear them. The room feels smaller, warmer, full. I thought you knew, she adds. I didn't, I say just as quietly. Her gaze flickers, then steadies. I know that now. We eat, but it's not really about the food. It's about the way she watches me, the way she asks if I like it and waits for the answer, the way she listens, actually listens. I feel spoiled, not because of the wine or the food or the candles, but because of her attention, her presence. It feels like I'm being seen again. After a while, the conversation shifts, slows, softens. I didn't stop loving you, she says suddenly. I look up. Her gaze is steady, honest. I just stopped showing it in your language. My chest tightens. God. I thought what I was doing was enough, she continues. Working, providing, being consistent. It matters, I say quickly. I know. she says, but it's not what you needed. No, I admit. A pause. Then, I missed you, she says. I blink. What? Every trip, she clarifies. I missed you. My throat tightens. I just didn't know how to express it, she adds. I thought I was doing well because that's how I would want it. Stability, consistency. I stare at her. And you never said anything, she says. I didn't know how, I whisper. She nods slowly. I appreciate everything you do, she continues. The food you make, the way you fill this space, the way you make things easier without me even realizing it. My eyes sting. You're the only place I've ever felt quiet in my head. That breaks something open inside me. I look down, blinking quickly, because I wasn't expecting that. I felt lonely, I admit, my voice softer now, but I didn't want to ruin things. She frowns slightly. Ruin things? I didn't want to be difficult or needy. I thought if I just stayed happy, stayed easy, you wouldn't pull away more. Her expression shifts. Sharp. No, she says immediately. Lily, I know, I say quickly. I know that now, but at the time, it felt like if I asked for too much, I'd lose you. You won't lose me, she says. I meet her gaze. I need to believe that, I say. You can. A pause, then I take a breath. I need more, I say, more clearly this time. Not big things, just small ones, consistent ones. I can do that, she says. I know you can, I reply. And I do. That's the difference now. I believe her. She stands, walks around the table, stops in front of me. For a second, we just look at each other. No distance, no distractions, just us. Her hands come up slowly, cupping my face, thumbs brushing lightly over my cheeks. Warm, steady. Her eyes search mine like she's making sure I'm really there, that she didn't lose me. I lean into her touch without hinking, because this is what I needed. She leans down and kisses me. Soft, lingering, not rushed, not distracted, just present. I melt into it, my hands finding her waist, holding on. When she pulls back, our foreheads rest together, close enough that I can feel her breath. Lily, she murmurs. I smile softly, my fingers curling into her shirt. There you are. Her eyes close briefly, a quiet exhale. I never left, she says. A beat, then softer. I just got lost. I swallow. Then I tilt my head up and kiss her again, because now she's found her way back, and this time I'm not letting her go.
Epilogue. Deborah. It's quieter in my head now. Not because life slowed down. It didn't. I still travel, still sit in glass-walled conference rooms and make decisions that ripple through numbers and people and things that, objectively, matter. But there's a difference. Because now, at the end of every day, there's somewhere I return to. Not just physically, but emotionally. A few weeks later, and we are better. Not in a fragile, temporary way, in a real way. The kind that feels like we broke something open and actually rebuilt it instead of pretending it was never cracked. We talk more, not just surface-level things, actual things, feelings, fears, small annoyances before they turn into something bigger. I've learned that silence doesn't mean everything is fine. And Lily has learned that asking doesn't mean she's asking for too much. We meet each other halfway now, every day. I still travel, but now I call her every night. Not quick, efficient check-ins, real calls. Tell me about your day. What did you draw? Did the cloud rain yet? Sometimes we talk for 5 minutes, sometimes for an hour. Sometimes we just sit there, quietly existing together through the phone. And it matters. I send her voice notes, short ones. Miss you. Saw something you'd like. Come back to me soon. I leave notes before I leave for trips. Not dramatic, just, don't forget to eat. Your tea is in the cabinet. I love you. She keeps them. I've seen the drawer. I pretend I haven't. And Lily is herself again. Bright, playful. She laughs easily now, touches me without hesitation, teases me without that careful edge she had before. Secure. With me. When I walk into the house tonight, I barely have time to put my bag down before she's already there. Of course she is. She always is. Hi, she says, launching herself at me. I catch her easily, my arms wrapping around her as she presses into me like she belongs there. Because she does. Hi, I murmur, pressing a kiss into her hair. I hold her for a second longer than necessary, because now I know it matters. My phone rings. I don't even look at it. I just reach into my pocket and silence it. Lily pulls back slightly, glancing at me. You can pick that up. No. What if it's important? If it's my boss, I say calmly, they shouldn't be calling me at this hour. She raises an eyebrow. Wow. Boundaries. I'm evolving. Terrifying. This is my time with my wife. I add, more quietly. Her expression softens. Okay, she says. And then she practically vibrates. I have news. That sounds dangerous. It's exciting. That's worse. She grabs my hand, pulling me further inside like she physically cannot contain it anymore. I found a publisher. I stop. What? For the cloud story, she says, her eyes shining. They loved it. They want it. Something in my chest expands. I pull her into me again, kissing her before I can even form a proper sentence. You're so talented, I murmur against her lips. I can't wait to see your book in print. She giggles. Actually, giggles. I used the tablet, she admits. I blink. The one you rejected? Yes. I raise an eyebrow. I swallowed my pride, she says. My old one started glitching, and I was like, okay, fine, Deborah might be right about some things. Just some. Don't get used to it. I huff a quiet laugh, pressing a kiss to her cheek. I'm glad you're using it, I say. Otherwise, it would have just collected dust in a cupboard. She snorts. You wouldn't have used it? I absolutely would not have used it. Wow, tragic. I know my limits. She smiles, softer now. Thank you, she says. For the tablet? For caring, she clarifies. I was happy when you bought it. I just didn't want to take it then. I know, I say. I didn't want it to feel like I was agreeing to that version of things. I'm not someone who can be bought off with money. Of course not, I say immediately, leaning in to kiss her forehead. She tilts her head up slightly, looking at me. You're my most precious person. I would never try to buy you. A small pause. Also, I add dryly, you're worth more than all the money in the world, and I am far too poor to afford you. She laughs. Bright. Easy. You're obsessed with me now, she says. I am, I reply without hesitation. She blinks. Wow. No denial? No. She grins. I'm a little obsessed with you too, she admits. Especially this version of you. This version? Yes, she says, stepping closer, her hand sliding up to my shoulders. Confident, charismatic, emotionally available, very attractive. I've always been attractive. I narrow my eyes slightly. She smiles. I love you, she says. The words settle into me. Familiar, but never taken for granted. I love you, I reply. We stand there for a moment. Close. Grounded. Then she takes my hand, tugging me toward the dining table. I made dinner, she says. Of course you did. Be impressed. I'm always impressed. She glances back at me, smiling, and as I follow her, hand in hand, back into the life we built together, I realize something. I didn't just fix what we had, I understand it now, and that makes all of the difference. Thank you for listening to this story. Hope you enjoyed it. You can check out other books by Sasha Clinton, available on Amazon under the pen name Sasha Clinton. Also, check out my channel for more free lesbian romance audiobooks.